Hey, it's Friday. We made it. It's August 23rd. Here's what we're working on this morning. Railways prepare to restart after the federal government forces binding arbitration.
Another red panda at the Toronto Zoo has died.
And Lionsgate pulls the trailer for Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. Good morning, and we are mega excited that the weekend is oh so close, Brian.
Yeah, we're just about there. Yeah, we're just about there. Yeah, and a lovely
touch to go.
It's going to be a great weekend, whatever you've got planned. I mean, outside this weekend is going to be absolutely beautiful.
Nice, and it's going to feel like summer again.
Yes, it will. It's warming up slowly. We got to 24 yesterday. Lovely day. Today we should hit 25 with a humidex of 28. So just a gorgeous feeling day, gorgeous looking day with blue sky. So no problems today. And for the weekend as well. Maybe just a little bit of cloud cover on and off, but temperatures on the mild to warm side. Not hot, just nice as we get into the last weekend of August. So we'll talk about that. We're 10 degrees, by the way, right now. Let's look at what's happening on the roads. The 403 and Waterdown Road. We usually start with that exclusive camera. That's ours. That looks good at the moment. As I always say, no sun yet this morning. Let's go to some MTO traffic cameras, give you an idea. Stony Creek at Millen Road, nothing to see. Top of the Burlington Skyway, Toronto bound coming towards us. Appleby line, we do have one minor problem. It's off to the side. It's Niagara bound. It's on the ramp to here, Ontario. As you can see, we've got the lane blocked. We've got emergency crews. It's just a disabled vehicle, so visual distraction at best. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up in just a few minutes. Right now, the news.
Okay, thanks very much. Although the federal government has stepped in to end the simultaneous lockout at CN and CPKC by asking the Canadian Industrial Relations Board to impose final binding arbitration, operations are not completely back to normal just yet. Simone Gavros joins us now from Hamilton GO, the station on Hunter Street, where trains are still not running for a second day.
Yeah, Annette, that's right. The trains here are still not running this morning. CN Rail did say that the work stoppage has ended for their workers, so employees will be back to work today. But CPKC says that their work stoppage is going to continue pending any orders from the Canada Industrial Relations Board as of today or any when those discussions are going to continue. Now, the Labour Minister yesterday, Stephen McKinnon, explained why the government intervened and says it was in the nation's best interest.
Under Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code, I've directed the Canada Industrial Relations Board to assist the parties in settling the outstanding terms of their collective agreements by imposing final binding arbitration. I have also directed the Board to extend the term of the current collective agreements until new agreements have been signed and for operations on both railways to resume forthwith.
Now, this means that some commuters will still have to find other plans of travel. Trains at Hamilton GO and on the Milton line will not resume today, affecting about 8,100 customers combined. Metrolink said earlier it's due to the disruption of rail traffic services provided by CPKC, which have still not resumed. CN Rail says they will be initiating their recovery plan at this point to get trains moving again and avoid any further damage to the country's trading and supply chain. The railway says they're satisfied that the conflict has ended, but are disappointed that they couldn't negotiate a deal at the bargaining table. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh was with workers on the picket lines in Montreal yesterday. He criticized the move from the federal government, calling the Prime Minister's actions, quote, cowardly, anti-worker, and proof that he will always cave to corporate greed. Now, CPKC said in a statement yesterday that the union as well as the board are going to be meeting today for more further discussion. But for now, Louis, I'll send things back to you.
Thank you very much, Simone. One person is dead following a single vehicle rollover on Highway 401 in Mississauga. OPP says it happened on the westbound express lanes near Renforth Drive shortly before 8:30 last night. The driver was pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of the crash is under investigation. Westbound express and collector lanes at Highway 427 have since reopened.
During a drug trafficking warrant at a home in Mount Hope this week, Hamilton police seized a loaded handgun, a taser, cocaine, and a large amount of cash. A 31-year-old man and 29-year-old woman face several drug and weapons charges.
Hamilton police are investigating after a bomb threat was sent to Juravinsky Hospital yesterday morning. Police responded to a call at the hospital and cancer center around 11 a.m., just after they received the threat over email. Hamilton Health Sciences says after the initial investigation, the threat was determined to be low and there was no impact to hospital services. Patients and visitors inside the hospital at the time say there was a brief lockdown.
I was in the hospital and we had code black in the hospital, Juravinsky, and then nobody could go in.
I arrived at lunchtime and there were several cop cars parked along the streets, some activity near the Juravinsky entrance, but other than that, haven't heard much.
Hamilton police say the email threat was sent to multiple organizations. Brantford General Hospital were also on lockdown after receiving online threats. Halton and Niagara police both tell CHCH News there was no threat in their areas. There's no word yet on any suspects or where the bomb threats came from.
A man is facing several charges after an assault at Norfolk General Hospital. Norfolk OPP were called to the hospital in Simcoe just before 1 yesterday morning. A hospital employee had been threatened and physically assaulted but not injured. 54-year-old Gary Hill of Norfolk County has been charged with assault, uttering threats, and failing to leave a premise when directed.
Meanwhile, a Brampton man has been charged after a 3-year-old boy was sexually assaulted at Brampton Civic Hospital. Peel police have released this photo because they believe there may be other victims. The boy was assaulted Sunday while sitting in a stroller. Witnesses also reported a man committing an indecent act in another area of the hospital. 31-year-old Brandon Ramnath has been charged with sexual assault, sexual interference, and committing an indecent act in a public space.
Human remains found in Parry Sound earlier this month are those of a missing Markham woman. 51-year-old Yukying Anita Mui disappeared August 9th on her way to a real estate appointment. York Regional Police say she was targeted. No one's been charged in her death, but 3 teens face fraud charges after Mui's credit cards were used at locations across the GTA. Police have identified a vehicle of interest. It's a white 2019 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter cargo van. They believe Mui was transported in a vehicle similar to it. A second red panda has died at the Toronto Zoo just months after giving birth to 2 cubs. The Toronto Zoo says preliminary results suggest the red panda had a cardiac arrest after experiencing health issues over the last few months. One of her cubs died a few weeks ago. The zoo says a necropsy showed the cub had several health issues as well. Well, tenants of a McMaster-owned residence in downtown Hamilton are facing new issues. Students at 10 Bay Street tell us that they spent about a week without air conditioning this month, with temperatures inside the building reportedly reaching between 26 and 28 degrees and a humidity of over 60%. The tenants say they experienced headaches and nausea as a result. They've faced several challenges in this building, including water quality and other construction-related issues. In February, every tenant in the downtown McMaster residence had to move out for 6 days while the university addressed plumbing system issues. We reached out to McMaster for this latest, for comment on this latest issue, but have not heard back.
All right, taking a look at sports, and let's start with some baseball, where the Blue Jays were kicking off a 4-game series, taking on the Angels at the Rogers Center.
And a high drive to left field. And this ball is gone. Ernie Clement does it again.
Ernie Clement hit his 10th home run of the season, and despite a shaky 9th inning, the Blue Jays held on for a 5-3 win over the Angels. Now check out how high that pitch was. According to Sportsnet stats, at 4.6 feet above the ground. It's the highest pitch hit for a home run in Blue Jays history and the third highest in the pitch tracking era, which goes back to 2008. Even his teammates couldn't believe it. Jays right back at it tonight at the Dome.
High fly ball, right field and deep. Brennan back on the track, at the wall. See ya. He's done it again. His 48th home run of the year. The show continues. 1-0 Yanks.
Another day, another Aaron Judge home run, who hit his major league leading 48th of the season, his third straight game with a home run, and now on pace for 61 on the season. Meanwhile, Giancarlo Stanton added a 3-run shot. Garrett Cole became the fourth active pitcher with 150 career wins. Yanks beat the Guardians 6-0 last night. Sticking with baseball, a little bit closer to home, the Welland Jackfish began their defense of their IBL championship. They were at home taking on the Kitchener Panthers in Game 1 of the quarterfinals.
Here's the pitch. That one is into center field, a base hit. RBI single, Raul Gonzalez, and Kitchener goes on top in the 10th.
Raul Gonzalez hit an RBI single in the 10th inning. That would hold up as the game winner. The Panthers steal home field advantage away from Welland with the 3-2 victory. Game 2 goes tonight in Kitchener. Elsewhere, the Hamilton Cardinals kick off their series in London against the Majors tonight. Switching gears to football, where Week 12 of the CFL season kicked off last night with the Argos hosting the Rough Riders at BMO Field.
Clock ticking down to 0. Final play for the walk-off Argo win. Iralau heading left. Missed it. It heads out, but it's a single point, and it doesn't matter. He kicked it far enough, didn't get the field goal, but the Argos do get the win.
St. Catharines native Liram Hairelahu missed the potential game-winning field goal, but it didn't matter as the kick would sail out of the end zone. The Argos beat the Rough Riders 20-19 on a game-winning rouge. Now, before the game, the Argos with the classy move honoring Saskatchewan native and TSN anchor Darren Detition, who passed away in May at the age of 57 after a long battle with prostate cancer. Fans coming to their feet for the standing ovation. Meanwhile, Chad Kelly was making his first appearance and serving a 9-game suspension for violating the league's gender-based violence policy. He finished the game 24 of 39 with 322 yards and 1 interception in the victory.
And just poor clock awareness, and now Hamilton has a chance to go back the other way. A break here on a 4-on-4, fresh out of the boxes, Hill, and he scores.
And in Junior B lacrosse championship action last night, the host Hamilton Bengals scored early and often as they remained perfect at the Founders Cup with a huge 15-5 victory over the St. John Rapids. Hamilton, who has already clinched first place in the Pool A standings, wrap up their round robin this afternoon at 4:30 when they take on the Queen City Kings out of Saskatchewan. For tickets and all the information you need, head to founderscup.lacrosse.ca. And here's what else you need to know in the world of sports this morning. The CFL has announced they will, quote, recalibrate their command center operations to ensure the clear and obvious principle is more consistent, whatever that means. In PGA Tour action, Keegan Bradley leads the way after the first round of the BMW Championship. Corey Connors, the top Canadian. And it's the final week of the NFL preseason. The Bills wrap up their exhibition schedule tomorrow when they host the Panthers.
13 past 6 o'clock. It is Friday, and we're looking at pretty good this morning. It's 23rd of August. We don't have the sunshine yet, but traffic this morning, really good. No problems, 403 on Waterdown Road. That's our exclusive camera. To some MTO traffic cameras, we'll start in St. Catharines, and then we'll come around the rest of the horseshoe. QEW at Welland, Toronto bound, heading away from us, as you can see. Mellon Road, Stony Creek, nothing there. The 403 junction at Brant looks good. Ford plant, a little busier, but still moving nicely, and still that disabled vehicle. It's Fort Erie bound, Niagara bound traffic coming towards us, trying to get off on the ramp to Huron, Ontario. It's a disabled vehicle, that's all there is, but there are blocking vehicles there. To our temperature at the moment. Temperature this morning is a couple of degrees better than it was yesterday morning at this time. We were 8, now we're sitting at 10 degrees, light breeze, relative humidity right up there at 100%. Sky is mainly clear. Air quality risk for today in the low risk category, so no problems there. What we've been talking about this ridge of high pressure. throughout the week, and it's been giving us the sunshine but cool temperatures. But as it goes to the east, that more southerly flow continues, so we're going to get temperatures a little better today. Temperatures climbing. We were at 24 yesterday. We'll beat that today. A bit of a cold front approaching, but really not going to give us a problem. Today in the sunshine, temperatures 25 and 26 degrees. Factor in the humidity today. It's going to feel like about 28, but just a gorgeous day. Maybe just a little cloud cover later on. Tonight, partly cloudy. Temperatures mild for Niagara, 18 and 14, but 12 and 15 for the remainder of the Horseshoe. Tomorrow, again, for Saturday, lovely sunshine. Little warmer, 27 to 28 degrees tomorrow. Humidex values just in the low 30s. So it's going to feel like summer again tomorrow and look like it as well. So out the door this morning, temperature right now 10, sky is mainly clear, and we'll look long range coming up. Annette, Louis.
Okay, thanks very much. Coming up after the break, Air Canada pilots have given their union a very strong strike mandate. Canadian dollar is up 14 basis points in overseas trading this morning at 73.59 cents U.S. Gold is up almost $17. Crude oil is up 57 cents to $73.58 U.S. a barrel. Checking trading in Europe, markets are up across the board by just a bit.
Over in Asia, markets were up in Tokyo, down in Hong Kong, up in Shanghai. In North American markets yesterday, the TSX lost 84 points, the Dow dropped 177, and the NASDAQ fell by nearly 300 points.
Well, Air Canada pilots have voted 98% in favor of a strike mandate. That puts more than 5,400 employees at the country's largest airline in a position to walk off the job as early as September 17th. Pilots have been negotiating with Air Canada since June of last year, with talks overseen by a federal conciliator. So that process is set to wrap up on Monday, and it'll be followed by a 21-day cooling off period. The Airline Pilots Association says the two sides do agree in some areas, but wages and scheduling are still sticking points.
Flavored nicotine pouches sold in Canada will no longer be available next week. Health Minister Mark Holland says he plans to publish a ministerial order that will put the pouches behind pharmacy counters and only allow the sale of mint or menthol flavors. Holland says it's part of a push to prevent youth from developing nicotine addictions from new products. Only Imperial Tobacco's Health Canada approved pouches will be affected by the change, and unregulated brands that ship to consumers from abroad are not impacted.
Disney is on the search for its next CEO. Bob Iger agreed to a contract extension when he came back to the role in 2022 after a rocky transition under his replacement. Iger is expected to remain as the head of Disney until the end of 2026. The executive chair of investment firm Morgan Stanley will be heading Disney's succession planning for a new chief executive officer. Disney says the committee is looking at both internal and external candidates.
Fast food chain Chick-fil-A is reportedly working on launching its own streaming platform. Yes. Media outlets report that the quick-service chicken chain is in talks with major production companies and studios to create family-friendly shows. They would focus on original unscripted and possibly scripted shows and animation. Top Gear and The X Factor film and TV director Brian Gibson is reportedly leading the programming deal. No word on what the platform would be called, but one social media user jokingly suggested Flick-Filet. That's a good one.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Reports suggest that the new streaming platform could launch later this year. I've never had Chick-fil-A.
It is good. They have good biscuits.
Good biscuits?
Good biscuits.
All right.
I love me a good biscuit.
Me too. I like Popeye's biscuits too, though.
Yes.
My mom
Very
always
good.
made the best, and then I always got in trouble because I'd yell at my brother for putting too much jelly. And my mom would be like, "Why do you care how much jelly he puts?" I'm like, "It's just too much, Mom. It's just too much jelly."
I like them with butter. Really hot and with butter.
Yes.
Oh, very good.
Oh, now you got me hungry.
Now we're going to go look for biscuits in the canteen. We're going to take a break, and Brian is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast.
Welcome to the 23rd morning of August. More importantly, Friday, 6:24 is the time. Looking at the QEW at Mountain Road, kind of going between Niagara Falls and St. Catharines. Nothing there. Top of the Burlington Skyway Bridge is still moving nicely. Toronto bound towards us. East of Appleby, still doing okay. Lorne Park, no problems. Glen Erin Drive going through Mississauga on the 403 looks good. We'll just dip in here. Yep, the problem at Huron, Ontario cleared. It was just a disabled vehicle. Okay, temperature at the moment. Hamilton's still the cool spot. We've been the cool spot for a past number of mornings, sitting at 10 degrees right now. 14 Grimsby and Mississauga, 16 for Toronto. Seasonal temperatures for this time of year, 24 for the daytime high. That's where we got yesterday. So we hit 24. We had humidex about 27 yesterday. Overnight low 14. Those are our sun times for the day today. And yes, we are going to have the sun today. Sun, 25, humidex of 28. Still a comfortable day, but just a little bit warmer. Tonight down to 12, skies will be partly cloudy. Tomorrow again, beautiful sunny Saturday and 27 degrees, humidex about 30. Sunshine sticks around for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Temperatures climb 27 to 28. Now there is a chance of a shower by the time we get to Wednesday in our long range forecast, but some sunshine as well for Thursday. That's your forecast. Annette, Bowie.
Well, thank you, Brian. An auction house has sold a 112-year-old newspaper article about the Titanic.
It was discovered in a wardrobe in England. It is in mint condition, believed to have sat there the whole time. It didn't sell for a lot at auction, though, going for the equivalent of about $60 Canadian. The front page of the Daily Mirror is dated April 20th, 1912. It shows two women in Southampton, which is the English port city where the Titanic set sail, waiting for a list of survivors to be posted. The newspaper was discovered during an estate clearance by Hanson's auctioneers in England. The owner of the auction house says the paper's existence is all due to their client's grandmother, who kept newspapers marking major events. And that doesn't happen anymore, right?
No. My grandma does. I mean, it was a grandma that
saves some stuff.
My grandma, she saves some stuff. She cuts it out. She saves it. She did lots of articles and things like that. There's still dozens of articles around my apartment that my grandma has given me to read that I have read, most of it. I just feel bad throwing it out without completing them. And she's probably watching right now.
Morning, Grandma.
Yeah, hi, Meme. Thanks. Good morning. All right, stay with us. More to come after the break.